All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. My name is Eric Polzin with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be breaking down the Sunday night football game between the Packers and the Eagles for this DFS slate. The showdown-wise, there is a lineup path that I found that I like decently. Okay, we are going to be fading the quarterback in that lineup, which you don't love, but it could work. So we'll go through the lineup process, touch on the top captain's plays for you guys as well. If you guys enjoy the coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. That does help me be able to put out more content for you guys. Trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before the new year. Right on track to do that. All right, so let's just keep that up, guys. Appreciate that. All right, let's get into it right now. So, the thing with this slate is that it's a very straightforward slate, okay? There's no like, ooh, boom, there's a stud value play. Now, there is one value play that's decent. Jack Stoll, okay? Came in, saw one target last week. That was great. That was unfortunate, but he did play 80% of the snaps. So, like, if you have to find a value play that's just going to be on the field a lot, that just gives you a strong chance at putting up some sort of points, that's not going to give you a fat zero, that would be Jack Stoll, okay? Not a player that you love, but on this slate in which I do think you can make a strong build by playing some of these other guys, by playing some of the studs, he'd be someone you could look at, make an educated guess, okay? Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, those guys can score a touchdown. You're just not counting on it. Grant, he played a decent amount of snaps last week, 25% or so, but, none of those guys are going out of your way to play. Quez Watkins, 50% of the snaps, could catch a touchdown. He could, sure. Eagles defense, some people might be playing like, yeah, you can go that route, but do you need to? That's the biggest question. I don't think we're going to need to. So really, it's going to be looking at A.J. Brown on this slate. Okay, A.J. Brown could be matched with Jari Alexander, could be kind of hindered. His production could be hindered. So you could make an argument to either play like Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith together, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown together. I have kind of ended up on doing A.J. Brown and also Devonta Smith together. Devonta Smith, the last two games, has seen 9 and 8 targets. He just has these random games where his targets are low, but for the most part, we can kind of project 8 targets, and he should be getting the softer coverage between A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. And with Dallas Goedert gone, we were wondering where the targets would go to. They kind of just went to Devonta Smith's way. So I do kind of expect that to continue. He's going to be a stellar play for you. I am going to be playing both those guys in my flex spot, though. So A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Miles Sanders, it does seem like he's going to be due for a big game, although can you predict that? No, you can't. Okay, so maybe he scores a touchdown, maybe he doesn't. He does get a good matchup, good price point. You could see it happening, just not someone you're particularly going out of your way to play. Yes, Jalen Hurts, most likely you're going to get 20 DK points. You do want to try to find a way to put him into your build. So maybe I'd be playing Jalen Hurts instead of A.J. Brown. We will see. The lineup process might dictate that. So from there, Aaron Rodgers dealing with that thumb injury, something that I've kind of expected for a while. I feel like I've touched on that on this channel before. Really, the news broke just how much that had been hurting him. He has been a very consistent fantasy producer, though, and that's something that people just, have been ignoring, it seems like. Now, the price point is too high for the showdown slate. I'm not going out of my way to play him, especially given this matchup. It's something you want to stay away from. At the same time, the unfortunate side is that you do want to play Allen Lazard. Dude's been playing 90% of the snaps the whole season. We just saw him get 11 targets last game. He's just on the field so much, and Aaron Rodgers trusts him in key situations that it's tough not to play him, especially at a price point of 7.4. You should pretty much be locking in double-digit DK points, and at that point, it just becomes a question of, do you want to play him in the captain spot or not? I still think we should play Christian Watson in the captain spot, okay? If you guys remember, Christian Watson was the value play for me 2 weeks ago against Dallas. He was the player that really kind of saved that week. Cash-wise, he was like 1% owned. It was weird. Just given the price point situation, it was weird. And then last week, in that showdown slate, was still kind of undervalued, was able to score 2 touchdowns, scored 21 DK points. Now, yes, those touchdowns are not going to continue, but at the same time, they could because, besides Aaron Jones, he's their best offensive weapon. And you kind of just tend to try to get your best players the ball in the end zone, especially when your team is struggling. So he's only playing 80% of the snaps. Would love that to be a little bit higher. So like 80 to 90% of the snaps. If that was guaranteed to get 90, I'd like him a little bit more, but I think we can project 6 or so targets as a floor. Just needs to catch a big pass. The chances of that happening, I think, are more great for him. So I'll put him in the captain spot, but really, I think I'm trying to play Lazard or Watson in the captain spot and hoping that one of them kind of break the slate. Aaron Jones, prop-wise, I think he'd be someone I would bet the over for his yards. I think it was set at, I I forget what it was set at, but I did this new thing. I'll show the screenshot here. I was working on prop bets. So pretty much, yeah, over 80 yards. You look at the D average giving up about 80 yards to opposing running backs. He's projected to get around 95. His average is around 93. Gets a slight bump of 6. That's the edge there. It's an okay one. Not something you particularly love. It's really just when Aaron Jones is on, he is on and he's going off. Okay. And it's kind of been this weird every other game thing the last month or so. I do like him as a play. I think he has a strong chance of really going off. And then look at the lineup path, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is where, like, sure, if I end up on Jack Stoll, I'm perfectly fine with it. Like that works. You know, we're not really going to rebuild. You could easily put Alan Lazard in the captain spot instead of Christian Watson. I'm fine with that as well. Let's see if we can fit Devonta Smith in there as well. And we can. Okay, so that's a nice way, a nice, unique way of going about doing that. Then obviously you could do A.J. Brown instead of Jalen Hurts. You know, that is kind of a simple lineup process. A lot of people might be trying to get all 3 of them in there. You can do that. I don't like it as much. Let's say you want to do that. You would probably fade Christian Watson. Then you'd probably have to go down from Aaron Jones. Then you're playing someone like Randall Cobb, which probably going to pay about 50% of the snaps. You know, we could see that happen. Not something I'm going crazy with. I do want to just point out as well, there is some rumblings around about Torrey potentially getting more snaps than Sammy Watkins this week. Is that really going to matter? Probably not. Sammy Watkins getting about 30% of the snaps. If that were to go to Torrey, you know, would be a cheap price point, but at the same time, neither are players that you're going out of your way to play. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. And maybe for this build, you go Pasquale or Boston Scott or something. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. We'll say the Packers D is pretty cheap for a defense that's been good enough. I mean, shoot. 60K points against Buffalo, hasn't went negative at all. Like at that price point, it's a cheap price point. So if you need to play them, like if I could fit them into this build, I'd be fine with that. So I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see if I can. Boom. So like that's a good example. Like this is a fine build, not a perfect build, but a fine build. All right. That's all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Give a like and subscribe. That helps me be able to help you guys. All right. Thanks for watching and let's have a good slate. Well, let's keep cashing. All right. Thanks.